When love turns into loyalty and loyalty turns into survival, that's when you know the fairy tale is dead. Kody and Robyn Brown are deep in the trenches this season, and it's no longer just awkward, it's unraveling. Season 20 was supposed to be their clean slate, their monogamous redemption arc. Instead, it's playing like a slow-motion breakup caught on camera. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, when first we practice to deceive. That line feels written for them. The cracks that started as whispers back in Season 18 are now full-blown fault lines. Kody and Robyn can't even make eye contact for more than a few seconds without one of them shifting in their seat or forcing a smile that looks painful. Fans have been calling it since episode 3. Something is off. The same man who once bragged about finding his forever love with Robyn now can't stop talking about how exhausting marriage has become. And Robyn, she's sitting there teary-eyed, trying to hold on to the script of the dutiful wife, but the act is slipping. The irony is almost poetic. For years, Kody and Robyn were painted as the chosen pair, the couple that made it out of the plural chaos. Now they're living proof that maybe Kody was never built for peace. We're only halfway through Season 20, but the emotional distance between them feels like a canyon. In one confessional, Robyn says, "It just feels like he's not here even when he's here." And that about sums it up. Kody's body might be in the McMansion, but his spirit. He's fighting ghosts, the ex-wives, the old wounds, the crumbling image of the man he thought he was. And that's exactly where our story begins. Not with a fight, but with a silence, so heavy it feels like shouting. Season 20 was supposed to be Kody and Robyn's victory lap, after nearly 2 decades of managing jealousy, competition, and chaos under one roof. This was the season where they finally got to breathe. No more sister wives, no more late night fights over favoritism, no more pretending everyone was equal. Just Kody and Robyn, the supposed soulmates who made it. Except, the minute the cameras started rolling, it was obvious something had changed. The same couple who used to giggle through confessionals suddenly looked stiff. Conversations that once had inside jokes now sound like customer service scripts. The laughter's gone, replaced by that awkward politeness couples use when they're trying not to start a fight in public. Remember how Kody used to gush about Robyn being his safety, the calm in the storm? That line's aged like milk these days. It is like he is allergic to stillness. You can see it in every scene when Robyn starts talking about the kids or her feelings. His body language shifts, crossed arms, distant stare, jaw clenched. He wants movement, distraction, anything but that emotional mirror she keeps holding up. And Robyn knows it. You can tell she is aware that the fairy tale has curdled, but she is also trapped by it. Her entire on-screen identity was built around being the patient, understanding, God-ordained wife who got it right. So now she is overcompensating, leaning harder into the sweet voice, the teary eyes, the "we're fine" narrative. But it is not landing. Fans started noticing it around episode 2 when Kody told the camera, "Marriage is hard when you don't have the team anymore." That one line said it all. He doesn't see Robyn as a partner. He sees her as part of the mess he is still cleaning up. Their home, that massive house they fought so hard to keep, doesn't feel like a love nest anymore. It feels like a museum of what used to work. Every room is spotless, every word is careful, and every smile feels just a little too forced. And that is the tragedy of this season. They got exactly what they wanted. Monogamy, privacy, peace. And now they're realizing, peace is boring when the chaos was what kept them connected. Kody Brown has spent the better part of 20 years pretending his version of love is some higher calling. But Season 20 makes it painfully clear. The issue was never polygamy. It was never the wives. It was Kody always has been. Here is the thing, Kody doesn't actually want intimacy. He wants admiration. He is addicted to attention, not affection. For years, being the center of 4 women's lives fed his ego. Every disagreement, every jealous glance, every moment one wife tried harder than another, it all validated him. He didn't just want love, he wanted worship. Now that Robyn's the only one left, the game's over. No one's competing, no one's fighting for him, and without that constant stream of attention, he is restless, miserable, and bored. He doesn't want to admit it, so he blames monogamy like it is the problem. But monogamy isn't the issue. Accountability is. When he had multiple wives, he could deflect blame. Christine's too emotional. Janelle's too independent. Mary's not affectionate. It was always someone else's fault, but now there is nowhere to hide, just one wife, one mirror, and 1,000 cracks in his reflection. Watch him in those confessionals. Arms folded, eyebrows tight, that performative smile he tries to hold but can't. The man looks cornered. Every time Robyn mentions their struggles, you can see his whole body tense. He is terrified of being exposed as the problem. And Robyn, bless her, keeps trying to spin it like they're just adjusting. But you can see it in her eyes, she knows. The spark is gone, and Kody doesn't know how to exist without conflict. He thrived on chaos. He needed his wives to orbit around him, competing for slivers of his approval. Now that the dust has settled, he's standing in the middle of silence, and he hates it. There's this moment in episode 5 where he says, "Marriage is a constant battle." And the irony is rich because he's the one still swinging. He can't separate love from dominance. Even when he tries to sound vulnerable, it comes out defensive. He doesn't talk with Robyn, he talks at her. It's always, "I'm trying," or "You don't understand what I've lost." Never, "How do you feel?" or "What do you need?" That's why the fans aren't buying his act anymore. They've seen this pattern before. Kody rewrites history to protect his pride. Now he's doing it again, painting himself as the misunderstood husband trapped in an ungrateful marriage. But the truth is, the same self-absorption that tore his plural family apart is rotting this one from the inside too. Robyn thought she won when she became the only wife left, but all she really won was front row seats to Kody's unraveling. Hey everyone, what's up, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been watching season 20 of Sister Wives, you already know we are in uncharted territory. Kody Brown has finally achieved the monogamous life he claimed to want for years, and somehow he looks more miserable than ever. It's actually wild to see how quickly the energy shifted. Remember the way he used to talk about Robyn back in season 16, all that soulmate talk, all those poetic speeches about how she made him feel alive and understood. That's completely gone. These days, he talks about her the same way someone complains about a bad Wi-Fi connection, frustrated, resigned, and just trying to make it through without a meltdown. And Robyn, she's running out of ways to pretend everything's fine. You can practically see her shut down in real time. Her voice gets quieter, her eyes dart toward the floor, and she keeps defaulting to that nervous laugh. Every episode this season has at least one moment where she tries to turn on the old charm, soft voice, gentle tears, but even that feels tired now. She's not fooling anyone, least of all herself. The internet's been on fire with fan theories about what's really going on. Reddit threads, TikToks, reaction videos, everyone's dissecting every micro-expression. There's this clip from episode 6 that people can't stop talking about. Kody's in the kitchen trying to make small talk with Robyn, and it's like watching two coworkers who hate each other fake a conversation at the office holiday party. He asks her about dinner. She gives a one-word answer, and the silence afterward lasts forever. It's excruciating. This is what happens when the fantasy collapses. For so long, Robyn was the favorite, the symbol of Kody's happiness. But now that she's the only one, there's no contrast left to make her special. No rivalry, no drama, no validation. She's realizing what Christine and Janelle tried to tell her years ago. You can't build joy on top of someone else's loneliness. And Kody? He's unraveling in slow motion. He keeps saying he's at peace, but every word out of his mouth drips bitterness. You can tell he's rewriting the past to make sense of his present. He'll talk about how the other wives never supported him, then turn around and accuse Robyn of being too emotional. The mental gymnastics are Olympic. Level fans are calling it the emotional karma season. And honestly, that fits everything Kody projected onto the others is circling back to him now. Everything's catching up now, the control, the resentment, the ego. So let's get into it. In this next section, we're breaking down the exact moment fans say the cracks became impossible to ignore. The night the cameras caught Kody and Robyn's first real blow-up on screen. Season 20, Episode 7 gave us what we'd been waiting for. The first full-blown on-camera fight between Kody and Robyn that wasn't edited down to polite silence. Boy, oh boy, did not disappoint. It starts off innocently enough. Robyn is in the kitchen, cleaning up while Kody paces behind her. He poses a casual question about the kids' schedules, but the delivery is clipped. Tense. Obviously, he is carrying frustration that has nothing to do with chores. Robyn responds softly, trying to keep the peace, but the camera catches every micro-expression. Her eyes darting, lips pressed together, that subtle shake in her voice. And then it hits. Kody snaps over. Something small, literally a minor comment about the kids' bedtime. But it is not really about bedtime. It is everything that has been simmering for months. His voice rises, slightly at first, then more pointed. "I just feel like you don't even notice what I am trying to do," he says. And the audience immediately picks up on the tone shift. This is classic Kody. He frames his complaint as effort not appreciated, but what he is really showing is discomfort at not being the center of attention. Robyn doesn't fold. Instead, she matches his intensity with an honesty that has been building all season. "I can't even talk to you without feeling like I am walking on eggshells," she says. And that line, instant chaos. It is the crack in the facade. For years, she has been holding everything inside, masking it behind smiles, soft laughs, and the occasional tear. Now she is revealing tension that has been building since the move into the McMansion. The physical cues are just as telling. Kody's pacing devolves into restless fidgeting, hands rubbing his face, jaw tight. Robyn moves to the other side of the room, distancing herself, but you can tell she wants to stay engaged. She is stuck between walking away and fighting for the marriage she thought she'd won. It is raw, uncomfortable, and painfully human. Fans immediately took to social media. Clips of this confrontation went viral within hours. Reddit threads exploded with comments like, "Robyn is done with his nonsense," and "Kody looks like a man who can't handle being human." The reactions aren't about drama, but pointing toward a pattern, a cycle that had been repeating since the very beginning of his reality television career. This isn't just a fight over parenting or chores. This is the collapse of the fantasy. Kody, who thrived on multiple women vying for his attention, now faces a marriage where the spotlight is just on him, and he's failing spectacularly. Robyn, meanwhile, is done playing the perfect wife. She's done pretending the monogamous dream was ever going to make him happy. At the end of the scene, silence takes over. No one moves, no one speaks. The camera lingers, letting the tension hang there like a storm cloud in the McMansion. But the viewers, they are entranced, because in this moment, finally, we get confirmation of what we've really suspected. The relationship of Kody and Robyn isn't just struggling, it's unraveling. Here's the thing about Kody Brown. He's never been wired for equality in a relationship. Season 20 proves it in every subtle glance, every defensive word, every forced smile. The man doesn't just crave attention, he thrives on control. And when there's no chaos left to manage, no multiple wives orbiting his ego, he starts creating tension out of thin air. Robyn, on the other hand, is finally seeing things clearly. For years, she bought into the idea that being Kody's chosen one meant stability, love, and peace. But what she's realizing now is that Kody's version of happiness doesn't actually involve her, it involves him. And when she steps out of the script, even slightly, he's visibly irritated. Take the scene from episode 6, where Robyn casually mentions she's thinking of redecorating a room. Kody instantly goes on the defensive, not because he hates the idea, but because it doesn't revolve around him. He asks a few leading questions, presses for details, and then frowns when she gives an answer. He didn't anticipate, it's subtle, but the camera captures every micro-expression. Fans online were quick to point it out. Kody is mad about a lamp, not the room, a lamp. And this is why the Season 20 storyline is so compelling. It's not about the big fights, it's about the erosion of intimacy, the micro-aggressions, the subtle ways a personality clash manifests when there's no distraction left. Kody's ego wants constant validation, and Robyn's reality demands honesty. That tension, left unchecked, explodes in moments like the episode 7 kitchen confrontation. It's also fascinating to see how body language tells the story the words don't. Kody paces, scratches, fidgets, or taps his fingers when he's uncomfortable. Robyn, by contrast, leans back, crosses her arms, and sometimes stares past him, refusing to engage in his theatrics. This season, the cameras are like magnifying glasses on their marriage. The subtle power dynamics are impossible to ignore. Fans are noticing patterns they've seen before in plural marriages. When Kody was juggling multiple wives, his ego was constantly reinforced by competition and attention. Now that it is just him and Robyn, he is left vulnerable, and vulnerability that is not really something Kody knows how to handle. So what you are watching is a man literally deprogramming himself of his coping mechanisms in front of millions of viewers. Robyn, on her part, is learning how to enforce boundaries without the drama, which hardly ever happens on reality television. She is polite, measured, and clear, but that calm exterior is almost more devastating than an outright fight because it draws out just how much Kody's behavior is irrational and performative. At the end of the day, Season 20 isn't just a show about monogamy. It is a case study on personality, ego, and the limits of performative love. Kody is the epicenter of the problem. Robyn is finally refusing to be complicit, and the fans, they're watching every second, calling it like they see it. One of the most striking dynamics this season is how the kids are woven into the tension between Kody and Robyn. In previous seasons, kids were often background actors in the chaos, a source of joy or distraction. But Season 20 flips that script entirely. They become silent witnesses to a marriage that is slowly imploding. Episode 5 gives us a perfect example. Robyn's trying to tuck in Ari, who is about 9 years old, when Saul and Brianna wander into the room, each with their own needs for attention. Kody, who is supposed to be helping, hovers nearby but doesn't engage meaningfully. Instead, he shifts between the kids, making short comments that sound like tasks being checked off a list rather than genuine interactions. The kids' faces reflect what viewers already know, a sense of disconnect, confusion, and yes, frustration. Fans immediately called this out online. Clips went viral showing Kody's awkward attempts at small talk and Robyn's quiet exhaustion. The consensus? Kody is emotionally checked out. He is physically present but mentally absent, and the children, especially the youngest, are bearing the brunt of that. Huge spaces, empty rooms, high ceilings, they should scream luxury, peace, and new beginnings. Instead, they highlight the distance. Every echo, every hallway, every quiet living room reinforces that emotional vacuum between Kody and Robyn. You can see it in the long shots. Robyn occupies one side of the room, Kody paces the other, and the kids drift in between, unsure where they belong. And it's not just the physical layout. The emotional fallout is staggering. Robyn has been trying to maintain control, keep a sense of normalcy, and still act like everything's fine on camera. But Kody, oblivious or unwilling to adjust, escalates tension without even realizing it. Every small disagreement becomes a reflection of a bigger issue, a marriage built on performance, not partnership. This pattern is not lost on viewers. Social media threads are filled with observations about the generational impact of this tension. People are saying, the kids are growing up in a rehearsal, not a family. And they're not wrong. The combination of Kody's ego, Robyn's restraint, and the McMansion's empty spaces makes for a striking, uncomfortable tableau of a family in slow collapse. And, here's the kicker, despite all this, the cameras keep rolling. Every sigh, every avoided glance, every awkward silence becomes fuel for the narrative. It's no wonder fans are calling this season a train wreck in HD. Here's the truth that Season 20 makes painfully clear. Monogamy isn't the problem, Kody is. Kody thrives on attention. It's been true for years, across multiple wives, multiple seasons, multiple conflicts in the plural marriage era. He had a constant stream of validation, wives competing, vying for his praise, proving themselves. That's what fueled him. That's what made him feel alive. Take that away, and what's left? A man forced to face himself. And Kody, he's not built for self-reflection. Watch him in any confessional this season, and it's obvious. He talks about love as though it's a performance, not an experience. He'll say, I just want to make Robyn happy, while simultaneously complaining about chores, attention, or emotional labor. It's a classic case of wanting control without accountability. Kody doesn't want to compromise, negotiate, or empathize. He wants applause. Robyn, by contrast, is grounded in reality. She's navigating her own feelings, the kids' needs, and the emotional labor that Kody refuses to carry. Her frustrations aren't performative, they're real, and that clash between ego-driven fantasy and lived reality. That's why the monogamous experiment is crashing so spectacularly. Episode 7's blowup is a perfect example. Kody frames the fight as her problem, her inability to understand him. But when you look at the body language and the words unsaid, it's clear he's defending his ego, not the relationship. Every sigh, every defensive posture, every subtle eye roll is a shield against vulnerability. And vulnerability in Kody's world is weakness. Fans online are noticing the pattern, and they're calling it out with brutal honesty. They see what the show sometimes fails to highlight. Kody doesn't actually want a monogamous connection. He wants the perks without the intimacy. He wants admiration without accountability. He wants love without compromise. And Robyn? She's done pretending that's enough. She's done performing alongside him. This season, we see her asserting boundaries in subtle ways, minimizing engagement. When he's being defensive, calmly correcting him when he misstates facts about the kids, and strategically choosing silence instead of escalating a fight. That's her way of reclaiming agency, and it's terrifying for Kody because he's losing his control, the one thing he thrives on. In short, Season 20 is not just documenting a failing marriage. It's documenting the psychological unraveling of a man who was never built to exist without constant external validation. And the audience, they're glued to every painful second. By episode 8, the online chatter was impossible to ignore. Clips of Kody and Robyn's tense exchanges were circulating on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, each one sparking thousands of comments and reactions. Fans aren't just noticing the drama. They're analyzing it frame by frame, dishing out their own psychological breakdowns and predicting the eventual collapse of the marriage. The most shared clip, that infamous kitchen confrontation where Kody snaps over the kids' bedtime routine. Viewers were quick to point out his body language, crossed arms, fingers tapping, the subtle tightening of his jaw. And Robyn, calm, measured, almost resigned, but visibly done with his theatrics. Comments poured in. Robyn has officially checked out. Kody looks like a man who's just pretending to be happy, and she deserves so much better. Reddit threads exploded with theories. Some fans argued that Robyn's patience has been stretched to its absolute limit, predicting that this season marks the beginning of her exit strategy. Others dissected Kody's behavior, calling him a narcissist who thrives on control and attention, unable to cope when that dynamic disappears. Even memes started circulating. One shows Kody pacing in the McMansion with the caption, "When you realize you're married to reality, not fantasy." Another features Robyn's side, eyeing him with the words, "I'm done pretending." The humor is biting, but the underlying sentiment is unanimous. Fans see the cracks, and they are relentless. The social media reaction isn't just for entertainment, it's validating what longtime viewers have been suspecting for years. Kody's charm, his performative love, and his ego-driven decisions are finally being called out in real time. Robyn, who was once the quiet observer of Kody's chaos, is now being applauded for maintaining composure, setting boundaries and showing that she's not a passive participant in this narrative. Even live tweeting episodes became a cultural moment. Fans pointed out subtle gestures, whispered words, and fleeting expressions that foreshadowed the inevitable emotional collapse. There's a consensus forming. This isn't just a fight between two people, it's a full-scale unraveling of a marriage built on imbalance, ego, and performative affection. And here's the kicker. Kody doesn't seem to realize how glaring it is. Each defensive comment, every forced smile, every attempt to appear happy on camera only amplifies the tension and gives the fans more material to dissect. The universe of social media has become the third party in this relationship, reflecting back everything that Kody and Robyn can no longer hide. At this point in Season 20, the big question on everyone's mind is obvious: will Robyn finally walk away? Based on the patterns we're seeing, the answer seems increasingly likely. Robyn has spent years playing the dutiful, patient wife. She mediated conflicts, held the family together, and endured Kody's ego-fueled theatrics. But now, with only the two of them in the house, the fantasy has faded. The charm is gone, and the reality, she's left facing a man who thrives on control, craves attention, and refuses to engage in authentic intimacy. Episode 9 makes this crystal clear. Robyn's lines are carefully measured, her voice calm yet tinged with exhaustion. She's done explaining herself, done performing, and done trying to prop up Cody's image of a perfect marriage. Fans immediately notice the subtle ways she asserts agency. She controls the conversation. She sets physical boundaries, and she refuses to engage in unnecessary conflict. It's the first time the show really allows her to be seen as more than just Cody's counterpart. Meanwhile, Cody continues to act as though everything is fine. He insists he's happy and at peace. But the cameras catch the micro-expressions he can't hide: tight shoulders, restless pacing, and fleeting looks of frustration when Robyn doesn't respond the way he wants. It's classic behavior from someone used to having multiple wives competing for his attention. He's never had to navigate true emotional equality, and now he's floundering. Fans are already speculating about the timeline. Many believe that within the next few seasons, Robyn may make a strategic exit. She has the financial independence, the social presence, and the credibility from years on reality television to make a clean break. And unlike the previous plural marriages, this one has no built-in distractions. Every moment they share is amplified, scrutinized, and exhausting. Social media sentiment reflects this as well. Posts like "Robyn deserves freedom" and "Cody can't handle monogamy" are flooding comment sections. TikTok compilations show side-by-side comparisons of past episodes versus season 20, highlighting Robyn's evolution from patient mediator to quietly assertive woman. Fans are certain that she is merely biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to take back her life. Season 20 isn't just a document of marriage woes, it is a countdown. The ingredients of Cody's ego, his inability to do vulnerability, and Robyn's budding awareness create a pressure cooker. And when that releases, Robyn leaving Cody isn't just possible, it is inevitable. One of the most intriguing elements of season 20 is observing how Cody walks that fine line between who he wishes to be in the public eye and who he is deep down behind closed doors. Both are captured by the cameras, and the result is jarring. Take episode 6, for example. On the surface, Cody's confessional is all charm and bravado. He smiles animatedly, gestures, and speaks about being a devoted husband who has taken to monogamy. But then the camera cuts to him in private with Robyn, and the difference is palpable. The same man who boasts of happiness now folds into silence, sighs heavily, and snaps at small, mundane things. This isn't a new dichotomy, but season 20 really amplifies it. Fans have been quick to notice when the facade of Cody's performative happiness falls apart. In one scene, Robyn teases him playfully about his disconnect with the kids. He then returns with a forced laugh and a defensive remark, and the audience may well and truly see it. He is more worried about looking happy than being there. Robyn, meanwhile, doesn't play into this act. Her reactions are genuine, rough around the edges, and at times painfully candid. She does not smile for the camera. She does not deflect. And she doesn't inflate her own happiness to prop up Cody's image. The authenticity makes that contrast razor sharp. Fans online immediately recognize it, calling out Cody's attempts to look perfect, while he struggles privately. This public versus private performance is also a key reason the season resonates so strongly. It is not just reality television drama, it is a psychological study. Cody thrives on control and admiration, but now that he is stripped of multiple sources of validation, cracks appear everywhere. Every forced smile, every awkward comment, every restless gesture is magnified. Episode 7's kitchen confrontation is another perfect example. Cody wants the cameras to see a happy, playful exchange, but in reality, he is tense, impatient, and emotionally unavailable. Robyn reacts naturally, tired, exasperated, yet holding her ground. Fans called it the moment Cody's mask slipped, and it is true. What is captured on camera isn't just a disagreement, it is the emotional truth of a marriage teetering on the edge. This contrast between public perception and private reality has always been a hallmark of Sister Wives. But in season 20, it is more pronounced than ever. Cody wants to be seen as the monogamous hero, but the story the cameras tell is unmistakable. His marriage is struggling, and Robyn is quietly preparing for a future without him. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this season is how marriage struggles reverberate through Robyn and her children. This isn't just an adult drama, it is a family that is caught in the crossfire of ego, unmet expectations, and emotional fatigue. The kids, but most importantly, the youngest, Ari, are growing up amidst tension they do not quite understand. In episode 5, we watch her meander from one parent to the other, looking for reassurance and affection. Kody's scattered and distant, making small comments and gestures, but nothing close to the real thing. Robyn takes over, attempting to fill in the emotional hole, but she too cannot replace those tiny moments that the absence of Kody leaves on the children. Fans online immediately picked up the micro-expressions, the confusion, the quiet disappointment, the longing for stability. Older children, such as Saul and Brianna, prove more difficult to gauge. They've grown up in the middle of plural, family chaos, so they're more cautious. Even they, however, cannot avoid the tension. Scenes show them withdrawing from meaningful interaction, speaking in clipped sentences, and avoiding their father when possible. The home, though large and fancy, feels emotionally claustrophobic. It is ironic. The McMansion, designed for space and comfort, only serves to illustrate the absence of connection and intimacy within the household. Robyn, for her part, is tired but resolute. Publicly, she keeps the peace, maintains boundaries, and puts up a pleasant face for the cameras. Privately, though, in the quick confessional clips, she is angry and sad. She is parenting solo in all but name, with a husband who has checked out of the emotional work of marriage. Every sigh, every tense pause, every wearied glance at the kids spoke to a woman shouldering far too much. This emotional toll isn't about discomfort, it is about long-term impact. The show, as fans have commented, that the kids grow up in a home where tension is normalized, communication is strained, and attention is uneven. The combination of Kody's self-absorption and Robyn's quiet endurance creates subtle, persistent strain that viewers can't ignore. By weaving these moments into the narrative, Season 20 isn't just chronicling Kody and Robyn's relationship, it is revealing the collateral effects on everyone involved. Every conflict, every micro-aggression, and every forced smile leaves a mark, and the audience is watching it all unfold in real time. By now, there is little doubt in the minds of fans, Kody and Robyn's relationship is in serious trouble. Season 20 has stripped away all pretense, showing a marriage that isn't just struggling, it is unraveling. The evidence is everywhere. From episode 5 through episode 9, we see a consistent pattern. Kody's ego dominates interactions. He prioritizes appearances over intimacy, and Robyn quietly asserts her boundaries while managing both the children and the emotional fallout. Their conversations are clipped, guarded, and full of tension, and the camera captures every micro-expression that reveals what's really happening behind the scripted dialogue. Fans have been loudly voicing their opinion, calling out Kody for his performative happiness and praising Robyn for her resilience. There are threads on all social media saying things like, "She is done pretending, he is emotionally absent, and this marriage can't survive this level of disconnect." The general consensus is clear: ego, attention, and performative love were what held this couple together, and the foundation has cracked. Even more telling, though, are the little subtle moments. Robyn no longer solicits his approval. Kody can't stand not being adored anymore. The house that once epitomized their dream of monogamy has now turned into an empty gallery of gestures and frustrated expectations. Each shared space brings out the emotional distance separating them. And let's be honest, this is not about monogamy failing. This is about a man who can't reconcile intimacy with accountability. Kody thrives on chaos, competition, and attention, and none of that exists in a one-on-one relationship. Robyn is ready to step out of the performance, and Kody isn't ready or capable of adjusting. So, is their relationship over? Season 20 is full of clues. If the patterns continue, Kody prioritizing ego over connection, Robyn quietly setting boundaries, the children feeling the tension, the answer seems unavoidable. Fans aren't just speculating, they're analyzing the body language, the dialogue, and the missed opportunities for connection. And all signs point to a conclusion that in 5 years or fewer, Robyn will likely leave Kody. But Season 20 is more than a reality show. It is a slow-motion chronicle of a relationship at its breaking point, with the viewers along for every uncomfortable, revealing, and heartbreaking moment. So where do we go from here? It feels like Season 20 has peeled back every layer of Kody and Robyn's relationship, exposing the cracks, tension, and emotional exhaustion. Viewers have witnessed it all. The ego-driven behavior from Kody, quiet endurance from Robyn, children in the middle, and a McMansion that amplifies every disconnected moment. The next episodes are going to be crucial. Will Kody finally confront his inability to cope with intimacy? Will Robyn continue setting boundaries, or will she begin plotting a more permanent exit? And how will the children navigate fallout from a marriage that increasingly seems untenable? It all points to more emotional volatility, tense times, and perhaps a conclusion that many fans have been forecasting for years. The takeaway for the viewers is clear. Season 20 isn't going to be about entertainment. It is actually a study in personality, ego, and relational dynamics. It is proof that looks can be deceiving, performance cannot replace genuine connectiveness, and even very long marriages can fall when their core issues remain unaddressed. So, what do you think? Is Robyn holding on for the wrong reasons? Will Kody ever learn to navigate intimacy without ego? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dissect every moment together.